What is up, guys? I'm here and now. I'm back, and here we are. It's time. WrestleMania 35 previews / predictions. So yeah, WrestleMania 35 just 4 days away, and here we go. We're gonna run through the matches, talk a little bit about the build-up, and basically give a prediction. Talk about and yeah, just go through it really. So this is probably going to be a long video, with probably at least an hour, but it'll be about 50 times as long as WrestleMania is going to be. I mean, my God, this is going to be a bloody long show, especially if you're counting the pre-show as well. So if you're watching WrestleMania live, guys, I suggest you get plenty of coffee in you, energy drinks, all that sort of thing, because you're going to be in for a long, long night. And that's a big problem with this show. It's going to be a long show. I mean, it's been like that for the last 3 years, and not for the better, in my opinion. I think like each WrestleMania the last 3 years could have been so much better if there were shorter shows. But hey, WWE sells out. Everybody watches WrestleMania. WWE's going to do whatever the hell they want, right? I mean, we can complain about it, but at the end of the day, we're all going to watch WrestleMania, aren't we? So, yeah. So overall, we've got 15 matches on here, 3 pre-show and 12 main card matches up until now, anyway. So who knows? Maybe something will be added onto the show between now and then, or maybe we'll get an impromptu match or two on the night. Who knows? So yeah, let's just get to it. Really, I think overall, I think it should be a good WrestleMania. I don't think it's going to be an all-time great WrestleMania, anything like that. But I feel if the matches do deliver and the booking's right, I think that's the most important thing, by the way. If the booking's right, this can be a good WrestleMania. But the biggest challenge is going to be, overcoming the fact it's going to be, including pre-show, 7-hour plus show. So I just really, really hope by the time the last few matches come out, the fans just aren't dead for it. That's going to be the big issue. But yeah, looking at this card, there's definitely a lot I like about this card, and some things not I like about this card as well, which we'll get into. As far as the build-up goes, I think the build-up's been okay. I feel like I'll elaborate more when I go on, but I feel like the SmackDown stuff has been far superior to the Raw stuff. And we've got some stuff that's been good and some stuff that's been bad. So enough about that. So let's just start off with the pre-show, because these 3 matches have just been announced for the pre-show in the last few hours. And two I thought definitely would be on there. One I'm actually quite surprised on there, given who's involved. So first off, no surprise for the WWE Cruiserweight Championship, Buddy Murphy versus Tony Nese. I mean, this was always going to be pre-showed, wasn't it? So for the last 2 WrestleManias, we've had a 205 Live in the pre-show, and for the most part 205 Live gets the pre-show treatment, which sometimes I get and sometimes I think is unfair. But objectively, so people might complain saying this is on the pre-show, but can you honestly tell me a match that it feels bigger than that's on the main card that you would take off for this? Don't get me wrong, this should be a good match and all, but I just don't think that many people care about it. 205 Live, I must admit, I don't really watch as much as I should do. But I just feel like because there's a lot of wrestling going on right now that sometimes I just don't have time to keep up with everything. And often 205 Live will be on the back burner. So the builders haven't really watched that much of the build-up of this one. I watched Tony Nese and Cedric Alexander from the other week in the final. That was a really good match. I think best 205 Live match I've seen this year, for me anyway, was Tony Nese versus Noam Dar, the no disqualification match from not that long ago. So Buddy Murphy joined 205 Live roster last year after really being in obscurity for quite a long time. Him and Wesley Blake were the NXT Tag Team Champions in 2015, but then Murphy was just kind of did nothing for so long, and then he got promoted to the 205 Live roster, slimmed down to become a cruiserweight. It was one of the great sensations of last year. I mean, he really just showed everyone what he could do. Had a tremendous run on 205 Live. He's been the cruiserweight champion since October, and he's had some great matches with everyone really. So, like the Kalisto, Akira Tozawa, Cedric Alexander, and Mustafa Ali, those sort of guys. I think it's cool that he's faced someone like Tony Nese, someone who hasn't really had the push on 205 Live until right now. Well, he's been there since the beginning. He was there in the original Cruiserweight Classic. Done some good stuff, but never really got the push. And I'm so glad they went to this instead of just going with the boring option and having Cedric Alexander win. So it was pretty cool to me that Tony Nese actually won this tournament and actually has this opportunity. I think he's a good worker. I mean, he's got a good body and all that. I think he's at least alright on the microphone. Don't think he's great, but I don't think he's bad by any means. Pretty underrated worker. And this match should be good, but let's be honest, it's probably going to get dicked for time. It's probably going to be the first match in front of the live crowd, so it might have half the arena full, so people will still be filed in and that sort of thing. So probably about 8-10 minutes long, I would guess. So it's a prediction. I'm going to go with Tony Nese to go over to become the new Cruiserweight Champion. I think Buddy Murphy's had a good run, but I definitely think a new champion could be in order for 205 Live. And I think Tony Nese deserves it, you know. I think he's worked hard and he's earned his opportunity. So Tony Nese to go over. Then the first two Battle Royals. The Miss Wrestlemania Battle Royal is back now with the Women's Wrestlemania Battle Royal. We've got with some participants, but I imagine there'll be more. We've got 13 so far, but I imagine there'll be more. So let's just run through the participants we already have. We got Dana Brooke, Mickie James, all three members of the Riot Squad, Ruby Riott, Liv Morgan, Sarah Logan. Then we got Asuka, Carmella, Naomi, Lana, Mandy Rose, Sonya Deville, Zelina Vega, and Nikki Cross. So that's 13, but you got to think there's going to be more, because I think they've said that NXT people could be involved. So Shayna Baszler loses her title, she might be in there. They might pluck someone out of NXT UK, such as Toni Storm or Rhea Ripley or someone like that. Or some of the ones that were in the Women's Royal Rumble, such as, what's her name? That Casey Contazo, or whatever the hell you call her. You know the one who was an American Ninja, that one? I can't remember, I think it was Casey something. I don't really give a shit about this Battle Royal, do you? Does anybody really? I mean, it's just, let's just, whoever's not in the match, just put them in the Battle Royal and whatever. Last year's wasn't really important, and this year's isn't really important either. So I don't really want to spend too much time talking about this, because I don't really give a shite, to be honest. Match will be what it is. So as a prediction, you're going to go for Asuka to go over. I mean, she seems the obvious choice, to be fair. Obviously, we'll talk a little bit more about this when we talk about the main event, but Asuka's recently lost the SmackDown Women's Championship to Charlotte, so obviously losing the SmackDown Women's title match on this show is a big blow to her. And maybe this match will get her back on track. Maybe this will be a consolation prize, I think, but I definitely think Asuka will go over. And then we've got for the how many years? I mean, it's the 6th consecutive Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. And again, whatever. It's basically just to get guys in the card. Although this year's actually some celebrity involvement. I mean, this has been revolved around a feud of Braun Strowman versus the Saturday Night Live guys, Michael Che and Colin Jost. Now, being from England, I have no idea who the fuck these guys were. We don't get Saturday Night Live over here, so we have our own shows like that. So I don't really give a shit about these guys. So maybe American people can tell me if these guys are actually popular or not. So let's just run through the participants. We've got 29. Maybe we'll have some more. I don't know. We've got Braun Strowman. Then obviously Che and Jost on the Saturday Night Live crew. We've got Apollo Crews, Titus O'Neil, Tyler Breeze, Jinder Mahal. Yes, Jinder Mahal was WWE champion less than 2 years ago. Let that slip. Let that sink in. No Way Jose. No Way Jose is in this match. Brilliant. Bobby Roode, Chad Gable. Lucha House Party guy, Kalisto, Grand Metalik, Lindsay Dorado, Bo Dallas, Curtis Axel, Heath Slater, Rhino, The Ascension, Conor and Victor. Then we got Andrade, Ali, or Mustafa Ali, but now apparently it's just Ali, whatever. Shelton Benjamin, Gallows and Anderson, the Hardy Boys, Heavy Machinery, and EC3. So, I think it's pretty much a Braun Strowman carried lineup, isn't it, really? I mean, Yeah, you've got guys like Andrade and then Ali and the Hardy Boys. But yeah, I just don't really give a shit about this. I mean, what's the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal really mean? It had any real history of elevating guys? No. Cesaro, of course, at WrestleMania 30. That was a cool moment, but Cesaro's push fizzled out quickly. Then Big Show won it at 31. Baron Corbin won it at 32. 33 was Mojo Rawley won the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, for Christ's sake. Just remember that. And then last year was Walker Hardy. So, yeah, this match would be alright, I guess. But I think it's really sad where Braun Strowman is now, to be honest with you. I mean, seems like WrestleMania's not kind to Braun Strowman. His first WrestleMania, he was in a non-wrestler segment for The Rock and the Wyatt family. WrestleMania 33, he was in Andre Giant Battle Royal. Last year he won the fucking tag team titles of a kid. And now here he is in a Battle Royal feud of SNL guys. Good God. It's actually quite impressive how much they fucked over Braun Strowman in the last few months. I just don't see him ever getting back to that level now. I mean, it's going to be really, really difficult, I think. So, who could be in there? We might have a couple of NXT guys. Maybe someone like Johnny Gargano or a Pete Dunne or someone like that. Because I think one person conspicuous by his absence on this WrestleMania is Kevin Owens. He doesn't have a match, so I think he could maybe be in this match, just to throw him in there, just to give him a match. Maybe someone like Lars Sullivan finally makes his debut. Maybe we'll get a surprise legend in there just for the crack, like when DDP and Tatanka was randomly under a Giant Memorial Battle Royal a couple of years ago. Yeah, how weird was that? So maybe they get someone like him just completely random. It's got to be Braun Strowman, hasn't it? I mean, he's the obvious choice. I mean, I don't think they'd be daft enough to have one of the SNL guys win, although I wouldn't put it past them. So the only other guy I could think maybe winning is Andrade. So it's got to be Braun Strowman, hasn't it, to be honest with you. And that wraps up the pre-show, so let's get the main card. 12 matches. Let's go. So the match that was announced last night on SmackDown, which seemingly is the final match added to this WrestleMania card. We got a Fatal 4-Way match for the SmackDown Tag Team titles. The Usos versus Aleister Black and Ricochet versus The Bar versus Shinsuke Nakamura and Rusev. Yeah, just a typical thrown together WrestleMania match to get these guys on the card. I mean, we see this type of thing every WrestleMania. I think whenever they can, WWE will put a multi-man match out there just to get some guys on the card. And this is certainly the case here. It's nice to see the Usos get a second consecutive main card WrestleMania appearance, though. Then you got Aleister Black and Ricochet, so now I remember saying they could conceivably be double champions by the end of this week. But obviously they lost to the Revival on Raw, so maybe they'll be NXT Tag Team Champions, maybe they'll be the SmackDown Tag Team Champions. Then you've got The Bar, Sheamus and Cesaro. Then Shinsuke Nakamura, Rusev. But my God, this thing about this, right? This time last year, Shinsuke Nakamura was preparing to face AJ Styles for the WWE Championship. And now he's a last-minute chuck on the WrestleMania card. Look at this card. I can't think of anyone who's fallen any farther than Nakamura from WrestleMania 34 to WrestleMania 35. I could easily see this being one of the warm-down matches. I mean, because obviously when you've got all these matches, inevitably some are going to have to be warm-down matches to try and get fans prepared for one of the big matches. And that's unfortunate, but it's just the way it is. So I could see this match going on between one of the big title matches in the main event, just to get the fans cooled down. It'll probably be 5, 6, 7 minutes. It won't be that exciting. Prediction, gotta go for Usos to retain, because I just don't see the point in putting the belt back in the bar at this point. Can't see them going to Nakamura and Rusev and Aleister Black and Ricochet. I think they might go and do their own thing after the Superstar shake-up. So I'm going to go for the Usos. And then, for the first time ever at WrestleMania, for the WWE Women's Tag Team titles, also a Fatal 4-Way match, we've got the Boston Hug Connection, Sasha Banks and Bayley, versus Tamina and Nia Jax, versus the Iconics, versus Natalya and Beth Phoenix. So yeah, obviously the women's tag team title's a new thing. It debuted last February at the Elimination Chamber, and Sasha and Bayley are the first tag team champions. This is another get as many people on the card as possible. Well, there's been a decent storyline behind this one. Sasha and Bayley have been on both Raw and SmackDown. They were being feuding with Nia Jax and Tamina, and the Iconics Billie Kay and Peyton Royce have had an issue with them. And then Beth Phoenix has come out of retirement for this, which is actually kind of cool, to be fair. So Beth Phoenix and Natalya got in a confrontation with Nia Jax and Tamina, and Beth Phoenix agreed to come out of retirement for this match. So it's kind of good that she's got a WrestleMania match now. Beth Phoenix and Natalya, of course, were a team back in the WWE Divas days of the late 2000s, early 2010s. And they were a pretty good team at the time, but it's just, they didn't really give a shit about the women's division back then. So they reunited them for this match, and that's fine by me. I mean, I've got absolutely no problem with this whatsoever. Beth Phoenix is still quite young. I think she's still about 36, 37, something like that. So, and yes, it'll be her first big pay-per-view match in quite a long time. I mean, she was in the Women's Royal Rumble in 2018. I'm pretty sure she wasn't in this year's. I don't think she was anyway. So I think she retired in 2000. Had to be 2012, right? Because she was on WrestleMania 28. So I can't remember exactly when she retired in 2012, but then she went off to marry Edge and have 2 kids with him. So, and now she's back, and maybe she's coming back just to have this match so the kids can see the mum wrestle. So, and this match will be pretty good. I don't think it'll be a great match or anything like that, but I think it could definitely be a pretty decent match. I mean, I think we're just getting the tag team title division established. So yeah, I've got no problems with it at all. I'll probably go as prediction. I'm going to go with Sasha and Bayley to go over and retain the titles. Because at this point, I think you keep the belts on a established team like Sasha and Bayley and let them build the titles. So yeah, just let Sasha and Bayley run with these belts for a while. I mean, you can tell they're both into it, and finally, it seems like after so many months, maybe even a year, that they finally found some direction. So that's pretty good. So yeah, I'm going to go with them to go over. Then we've got, though this match is actually in jeopardy right now, so let me explain. So, currently scheduled is going to be Samoa Joe versus Rey Mysterio for the United States Championship, but the other night on Raw, when Rey Mysterio was wrestling Baron Corbin, Rey Mysterio suffered an ankle injury, had to cancel his match with Andrade last night on SmackDown, and at this moment in time, it's not 100% confirmed for WrestleMania, so there's a chance this match might not happen. So I guess we'll see in the next few days what happens. And if not, who replaces him. So it's great to see Rey Mysterio back on the WrestleMania stage. Mysterio has been left the WWE in, it was either 2014 or 2015. The last 2 or 3 years of Mysterio in WWE was just riddled with injuries and all that type of thing. Went away, did some work on Lucha Underground and other indie promotions. I think he did really well for himself. Some of his Lucha Underground work is really good. And I think just away from the WWE schedule and all that, managed to, because obviously he wasn't wrestling all the time at this point. He was picking and choosing. So he managed to get himself healthy, get himself in much better shape, and then he made a surprise return at Rumble 2018. Was going to have a New Japan run. He was going to face Liger on one of the US shows, but then he got injured again. And then his New Japan, he had 2 matches in New Japan. He had a 6-man tag at Dominion. Then he had a match in the G1 Climax final. So, gotta say, New Japan probably should have just done Ray and Liger at the G1 Climax show. But whatever. And then his last big indie show, he wrestled in the main event of All In that 6-man tag match. Then he came back to WWE this last October on SmackDown. I mean, he's having a really, really good run, to be honest with you. I mean, Mysterio looks fit and healthy and in shape. Definitely better than he did in his last few years in WWE. Had a really good series of matches with Andrade on SmackDown in January. And here we are potentially getting a US title shot against Samoa Joe. He's an interesting one. So despite being in the WWE since 2015, this will be Samoa Joe's first WrestleMania match. I think everything just seemed to go against him. So in 2016 he was in NXT. 2017 he just didn't have a match. In 2000 last year he was injured and didn't return the night after WrestleMania. So stoked that Samoa Joe finally gets to perform on the big stage of WrestleMania. As you know, I'm a big Samoa Joe fan, have been for a lot of years. Yada yada yada. And then he's finally got his first title in WWE as well as a US champion after kind of repeatedly failing to win the big one in WWE. He had his feud with Brock, then he got beat off there. Obviously this AJ Styles feud, multiple title shots where he failed to win the title. So glad he's got something. He's got a US title run now, which is pretty good. So really pleased with that. I'm just glad this match is happening. If it indeed it does happen, so if it happens, there should be. Well, I'd say it'd be a decent match, but with Rey Mysterio's ankle injury, that could be in jeopardy now. So maybe at least we might just get a short match in a squash where Samoa Joe chokes Mysterio out. Now this storyline is where Rey Mysterio's son Dominic's being involved in this storyline. And the schedule will be at ringside for this match, so that kind of makes you feel kind of old, like when I saw like the kid that was in the Eddie Guerrero Rey Mysterio storyline in 2005 is now a fully grown adult. It's just like, what the hell? How the hell did that happen? I think the guy's like 21 or something now, and he's actually been trained to wrestle himself. He's trained in the Lance Storm Academy not too long ago, and I think he has had a few matches on the independent scene. So I think this is probably one of Rey Mysterio's goals coming back to WWE now to help his son get in the door and get a contract. I think ultimately, eventually, we'll probably see Mysterio and Mysterio's a tag team, a father-son tag team, which could be quite interesting to be fair. But we'll see where that goes. So what are potential replacements? So say this match doesn't happen. Say Rey can't get cleared. Then what do they do? Kevin Owens is an option. Because Kevin Owens, is, like I said earlier, is quite conspicuous by his absence here. He's probably the biggest star not on this show. So maybe they're throwing them. And if this is possible, I don't know how possible this is. If you can make it on such short notice and have a match, John Cena. Maybe that'll be really cool. John Cena versus Samoa Joe. But there's not really a lot of options out there unless you bring up someone from NXT like a Gargano or a Pete Dunne or someone like that. I don't know. But there's a prediction either way, whether it's Mysterio or whether it's somebody else. Gonna go for Samoa Joe to win to retain the US title. There we go. We're going from the US to the Intercontinental now for the Intercontinental Championship. Bobby Lashley going one-on-one with the Demon Finn Balor. And that's right, boys and girls, the Demon is coming back for WrestleMania. He's the first ever WrestleMania appearance of the Demon. The second WrestleMania match of Finn Balor overall. So yeah, I don't really care about this match, to be honest with you. I think the feud between these two has been so-so. Hasn't been bad by any means, but hasn't exactly been exciting. They've traded the Intercontinental title back. Although, interestingly, I don't think they've actually had a single, have they? No, they have. They have had one singles match, I believe. So Finn Balor actually won the Intercontinental title by pinning Leo Rush in a handicap match at the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. But then Bobby Lashley beat Finn Balor to win the US title back. Then Finn Balor got his title shot by pinning Jinder Mahal in another handicap match with Bobby Lashley. So so we've only really had one match between them. So this isn't a stale feud or anything like that. It's just obviously buried in a long WrestleMania card. It's probably going to end up being unmemorable. I mean, it'll probably be a decent match, no doubt about that. Depending on how much time they get, of course. I mean, if they get a decent amount of time, they'll probably have a pretty solid big man versus small man match. And I know I've seen a lot of people complaining that he didn't bring out the Demon for Brock Lesnar, but he's doing it for Bobby Lashley. But I think it's more just enjoy seeing the Demon entrance at WrestleMania, because let's be fair, Finn Balor's entrance is going to be fucking awesome on this show. I mean, I've got no doubt about that. I mean, we've seen all these Demon entrances as takeovers and things like that, but with the big production of WrestleMania and the big arena, the big stage and all that, it's just going to look so much cooler. And this, of course, marks the year with Bobby Lashley's being back in the WWE, return the night after WrestleMania 34. You gotta say, just for the most part, just a real disappointing second run in the WWE. I think there was a lot of hype around Lashley coming back because obviously Lashley had a really good run in TNA. And it was a much better worker in 2018 than he was in like 2006, 2007. So I think a lot of people had good expectations for Lashley's WWE run, but I just failed to live up to the hype. And most of that's on WWE as well, to be fair. So not a downplay of Bobby Lashley, but I think a lot of it's been WWE's fault, quite frankly, to be honest. Just being honest about that. So yeah, this match should be decent. I don't think it'll be great, but I'm looking forward to it anyway. Looking forward to seeing the Demon anyway. So if I was a prediction, I'm going to go with Finn Balor to beat Bobby Lashley to become a 2-time Intercontinental Champion. Because I just don't see the Demon losing in a match like this. I think the Demon, when Finn Balor only loses these matches, the Demon, he'll only lose to a really big star, I think. So not someone like Bobby Lashley. But yeah, there we go. What else? Wow, we're getting further into the card now. We've got a singles match. Roman Reigns is back to face Drew McIntyre 1-on-1. So this could be a good match. I don't know how good it'll be, but it's kind of cool. So it's nice to see that Roman got on the WrestleMania card after his cancer thing early last year. So yeah, obviously, as you know, Roman Reigns was diagnosed with leukemia back in October, relinquished the Universal title, went on his way, and nobody really knew how long he was going to be back. But then he made his return in February, and then announced to the world that he was in remission, and it was a magical moment. I mean, Roman Reigns coming back in to announce he was in remission was probably one of the most emotional moments in Raw history. Just a great moment, guys. I mean, just so good. And I'm going to say it's nice that this WrestleMania is not really revolving around Roman Reigns this year. He's in a match, but it's not one of the bigger matches. It's not a high pressure match. Roman, of course, main event the last 4 WrestleManias. Who knows what would have happened? Because I do get the impression he would never have lost the US Universal title if he hadn't got sick. So he'd probably be walking into WrestleMania's Universal Champion this year. So they did the thing with the Shield match of Fastlane, and then seemingly WWE had a month to figure out a plan to get Roman Reigns on the show. And it just so happened they had Drew McIntyre there, so I think it's a good fit. You got Drew McIntyre as a heel, Roman Reigns now as a babyface, and Roman Reigns actually getting shaded as a babyface now. So who knows how long that'll last? Hopefully it'll be permanent, unless WWE does something really stupid with him. So over the last few weeks, Drew McIntyre's been on fire in my opinion. Probably one of the best parts of Raw. He obviously was built up really well last year, going undefeated for so long, and just genuinely being protected. So now looking at what they've done now the last few weeks of rebuilding him, it just makes it look really stupid that they were having him go 50-50 with Dolph Ziggler in matches last year, or earlier this year, losing to Finn Balor and things like that. I just felt like if he kept Drew McIntyre strong this whole time, he'd be in an even better position now. So yeah, obviously Drew McIntyre's had a few great beatdowns of Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns has really been selling this well as well. He's beat Dean Ambrose on 2 occasions, which it looks like that's going to be Ambrose's last match in the WWE for now. At least for now, until maybe he comes back in a few years. I don't know. So yeah, this has really just been a simple feud. So nothing really flashy or confusing or anything about this. Drew McIntyre's just been beating up Roman Reigns, and Roman Reigns is telling the story of coming back to the ring, overcoming cancer and all that. And I believe this is Roman's first singles match since returning. I don't think he's wrestled on any live events. I don't think he has. But if I could be wrong about that, but I don't think he has. He definitely hasn't on television. The only match he's had on TV since coming back was the Fastlane Shield 6-man tag match. So this is going to be an interesting test for Roman. I mean, what kind of in-ring shape's Roman going to be in? I mean, don't forget he's actually been overcoming cancer. So he's had a real big battle on his hands. I imagine that's took a lot out of him physically. He still looks in good shape, but does he look good? Does he just look good, or does he have the cardiovascular conditioning back, the in-ring timing? I mean, it's all, when you've been out the ring a long time, you kind of, for what I hear, you lose your timing and you lose your, ring rust is definitely a real thing. So hopefully this match, it's going to be a good host fight. There's two big strong bastards beating the shit out of each other. Really glad to see Drew McIntyre. He's back on track now after, it's weird though, like back in 2009 Drew McIntyre came up with so much hype. He was hand chosen by Mr. McMahon to become a future world heavyweight champion. He had the gimmick of the chosen one, and yeah, ultimately it just didn't work out. I mean, for various reasons. But looking back now, I mean, it's obvious that Drew McIntyre just was not ready for that spot that he got back in 2010 and in 2011. Because you look at the wrestler Drew was like 9 years ago, and you look at the wrestler Drew McIntyre is now, two totally different wrestlers. So obviously, so Drew's initial big push fizzled out. He ended up in 3MB for a couple of years. Then was released from the WWE in 2014. So to a lot of guys, losing your job in WWE is basically the end of your career, right? Not Drew McIntyre. So this gives Drew McIntyre the drive and determination to kick on, rebuild himself in the indie scene and get back to WWE, which he did. So in 2015, 2016, Drew McIntyre had an incredible run on the indie scene as Drew Galloway in various promotions such as ICW, Evolve, I think he was in PWG, good run in TNA as well. He was a TNA world champion a couple of times. Then 2017 he becomes a free agent. What's he going to do? So he gets his job back in WWE. He re-signs with the WWE, goes to the NXT brand, has a really good run there, become the NXT champion, gets injured, but then it doesn't come back to NXT, debuts in the Superstar Shake-Up shortly after WrestleMania last year, besides Dolph Ziggler, and here we are. So, and now he's in a big match at WrestleMania versus Roman Reigns. So, I think this, if Roman Reigns is in good enough shape, this match should be pretty good. Although it probably won't be a great match, but I think it'll definitely be a good match. As far as prediction, you got to go for Roman Reigns to go over. Two reasons. One, just in the build-up, Drew's looked so dominant. He's beating up Roman Reigns on a regular basis. So that makes me think they're doing that so Roman Reigns can get his revenge and topple him at WrestleMania. And two, this is Roman's first match, big WrestleMania back since overcoming cancer. So can anyone really begrudge Roman Reigns going over in this one? And ultimately, I think this will be the start of the rebuild of Roman Reigns. I think eventually he'll be the Universal Champion by the end of this year. By the end of this year, surely. You think round about this? I'd be surprised if he wasn't Universal Champion by SummerSlam. I really wouldn't. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Roman Reigns to go over. And now a match that the hype's really been building for me, and I'm really looking forward to, and that's Randy Orton versus AJ Styles 1-on-1. Wow, yeah, I'm quite excited I'm quite excited for this match, to be honest with you. I mean, the build up, this has been one of simplicity. I feel they haven't given away too much, but they've just had a really good solid build up. I mean, there's no real confusing storyline behind it. You got a babyface and AJ Styles, the heel of Randy Orton. Both guys think they're better than the other one, so they're gonna fight at WrestleMania. So this is kind of a long time coming, really. I mean, you think about this brand extension from 2016 and now, who are the two of the main guys of SmackDown during that time? They haven't changed brands at all. That's Randy Orton and AJ Styles. And apart from one match, where they had one match in 2017 in the build of WrestleMania 33, they've been kept apart all this time. And now here we are, they're getting a big WrestleMania match together. So obviously AJ Styles, he had his WWE title run for a year. And it was really nice that they found something good for AJ Styles without putting him back in the title picture. Because I do feel like AJ Styles can definitely use some time away from the title picture. This is a good feud for Randy Orton to have, because it's been a while since he had a feud this exciting, in my opinion. So yeah, I think it started off with a couple of backstage segments between the two. Randy Orton got the better of AJ. It was awesome, that gauntlet match of AJ in the build-up to the Elimination Chamber. AJ just beating Kofi Kingston. Then Randy Orton runs in, hits an RKO on AJ Styles and pins him in like 5 seconds or whatever it was. And then Randy Orton got the better of AJ Styles in the Elimination Chamber as well. then they've got some great promos in each other, actually. I mean, they've been going and talking about Randy Orton, talking about AJ Styles coming up from the indie scene and all that, how Randy Orton's been at WWE all this time. Yeah, because I think the main only contention of Randy Orton's AJ Styles, and this is the house that AJ Styles built, but then Randy Orton's like, wait a second, I've been here in WWE since 2002. This is not the house you built, this is my house, type thing. So yeah, just some really good promos for me too. And they haven't given away too much in terms of physicality either, which is awesome. So, and I don't think they've even had tag team matches together, so they haven't really touched that much in the build-up with this match, which is great in my opinion. Now, there's 3 matches on this WrestleMania that I feel could be excellent, and this is definitely one of them for sure. I mean, potentially this could be a fantastic match, and I think this match would open up the show, because I think you want to open up the WrestleMania for a great match. Here you are. This is a great opportunity to do that. Give them like 20 minutes and let them just do the thing. Have a great match. I mean, AJ Styles is AJ Styles' 4th WrestleMania, and AJ Styles' WrestleMania resume is kind of, it's been good, but when he definitely hasn't had one of the best matches of his career at WrestleMania. So he's had that match with Chris Jericho 32, which is a good match, but I feel like ultimately when you think of great AJ Styles matches, you don't really think of that match, do you? Then the match of AJ and Shane at WrestleMania 33 was really entertaining for what it was. I mean, I did like that match. And then last year, him and Nakamura, probably the most disappointing WrestleMania match of all time. So, and AJ, since he's come to WWE, he's had some awesome matches, some of the best matches of his career, but he hasn't had that really awesome match at WrestleMania that he's missing. And this could be that match. I really do think this could be that match. Really excited to see how it turns out. Randy Orton, of course. I think for Randy Orton, he looks really motivated in this feud, and I think he'll bring his A game for WrestleMania. Because for me, Randy Orton's one of those guys that, if he's not motivated, you can just tell he's not motivated, because you can tell Randy Orton's half-assing it. I mean, he particularly does this whenever he's a babyface. You might notice whenever Randy Orton's a face, he really just phones it in, because you can just tell when Randy Orton's not really motivated, he can't be bothered. But he does look motivated for this one. So this could be Randy Orton's best match in a long time. I feel like for the last 3 or 4 years or so, the only really Randy Orton match that I really enjoyed was a Hell in a Cell match with Jeff Hardy. But other than that, he's had a lot of solid but unspectacular matches. This could be that match. I mean, this could be a hard prediction actually, because I feel like this match really could go either way. I think you can conceivably see either guy going over. I think either guy would make just as much sense, but I'm going to go with AJ Styles to go over and get the WrestleMania win, but I'm not sure about it. I wouldn't put my house in it or anything like that. But I will cautiously go with AJ Styles to go over. Now we're getting into the top 6 matches of WrestleMania, so there we got Shane McMahon versus The Miz, Falls Count Anywhere match. I feel like this match could surprise a hell of a lot of people. And this, to be fair, has actually been one of the best built matches of the entire WrestleMania card. This is a great example, I feel, of these guys taking a storyline that nobody really cared about and building up the match that nobody really wanted to see. But by the time the match came around, people are really excited for the feud now. So this is actually probably the longest running storyline of the entire WrestleMania card. I guess it really goes back all the way to Crown Jewel. Crown Jewel. Shane McMahon does the whole best in the world thing. It was going to be the Miz facing Dolph Ziggler. I think it was Dolph Ziggler in the final, I think. But Miz had a storyline injury. SmackDown came in, Shane McMahon took his place, and then won the World Cup, become the quote-unquote best in the world. And then after that, looked like after a lot of convincing, it took Miz and Shane McMahon a while there. They finally started teaming up, but at the time, I don't think anyone really gave a shit about this match, this team. It just seemed like a stupid storyline. It seemed like a real waste of the Miz. But over time, the chemistry developed, and it kind of got really interesting. It probably became apparent that they were going to split off, and then face off at WrestleMania. But in the meantime, they won the SmackDown Tag Team titles, beating the Usos at not WrestleMania, Royal Rumble. Held on the titles until Fastlane, where the Usos won the titles back. So I think initially when the feud started, everyone thought Miz was going to be the heel and Shane was going to be the babyface. But I think it's obvious that Shane's just not likable as a babyface at all. I mean, I just honestly feel like Shane McMahon's a terrible babyface. What the hell is he to get behind a guy like Shane McMahon? But then Fastlane comes around. WWE does the right thing. Because I was thinking, God, I really hope Shane's the one to turn heel, but I don't think they'll do it. But then they did it. Shane McMahon finally turned heel, and the Miz at Fastlane did that whole thing where he grabbed the Miz's dad's face and stuff like that. It was a really, really well executed heel turn, and God, I feel like Shane McMahon desperately needed this, because I feel like his babyface character was so stale, so boring. I just feel like now he's a heel again for the first time in years. I think he's reinvigorated. He's doing some really great stuff on the microphone. That whole shtick with Greg Hamilton, where Shane McMahon forced him to announce him as the best in the world. And he better do some enthusiasm, damn it. It's just a really good heat-seeking device. I just love that. I think that's great. Miz has been surprisingly comfortable as a babyface. I mean, you can't deny it at all. Miz, I think, surprised a lot of people, including myself. I mean, I was always iffy about the Miz being a babyface because, one, in his career as being such a successful heel, and two, when he was a babyface back in 2012, 2013, it was really a big letdown. It just did not work at all. However, Miz is obviously a much more confident and a much more experienced and better performer in 2019 than he was in 2013. So far he's made it work, and I think what's helped is he's had a dislikable heel in Shane McMahon to play off, and that's really helped him out. But some of his babyface promos have actually been pretty good, much better than I expected. Some of the build-up, I kind of feel it was a bit awful that segment the other week where Miz just beat up all those guys. He beat up Sanity, he beat up Shelton Benjamin, won the Colognes. So it's like, alright, so I just feel like that was kind of a Super Cena moment, to be honest, which hope that's not going to be a trend in the Miz's babyface character. Because all of a sudden now we're supposed to accept the Miz as this really tough badass type guy, you know, after being a coward for all these years. Now we're just supposed to accept this badass motherfucker. No, sorry, not buying that at all. And then last night on SmackDown, he beat Sanity in a 3-1 handicap, which, Jesus Christ, they might as well just fucking release Sanity now, because my God, that was a burial if I've ever seen one. Oh God, that was bad. But the promos that have been really good, and the 4 count anywhere stipulation, yeah, absolutely on board with that. I think that is definitely the best way to go, because I think a straight up match between these two guys will be average at best, but now we've got the 4 count anywhere stipulation. You can do a lot more creative things and hide Shane's weaknesses, so I think this could surprise a lot of people. I feel like this could be a really, really good match. I don't think it's one of the best matches on the show, but I think it'll be a really good match. I mean, Shane McMahon's not the best wrestler in the world, but he'll do pretty much anything to get his matches over. And I think The Miz is probably one of the most underrated in-ring performers in the world. So let's be honest, we're going to see those stunts, aren't we? Shane's going to do his course to course. He's going to do a flying elbow drop off the ropes at the table. He might even do a big stunt off the WrestleMania stage or something like that, because we're going to get a big stunt from Shane McMahon, aren't we? Which that seems to be the norm of Shane McMahon matches these days. And obviously, being the boss of Sunday, he can do whatever the hell he wants. As a prediction, I'm going to go with The Miz to go over. Although I would not be that surprised if Shane went over. But I feel, just give it to The Miz. Hopefully after this, Shane can go away for a while, because I just don't think we need him on television that much anymore. So I'm going to go for The Miz to go over, and who knows what's going to happen to The Miz after that. I mean, talk about it a bit later, but I wouldn't mind seeing Miz and Daniel Bryan feud again, now in different roles. That could be interesting. But it's going to be interesting to see where The Miz goes as a babyface for me after WrestleMania. Now we're going to go to a controversial match. Kurt Angle's farewell match. Kurt Angle versus Baron Corbin, that's right. So he's Kurt Angle, legendary Hall of Famer, one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. He's getting older, time to retire at WrestleMania. Who would you put him in the ring with for his last match? Well, if you're WWE, the answer is Baron fucking Corbin. That's kind of the reaction it got. I mean, everyone was just like, "What? Really?" It's one of those things like, yeah, storyline wise, it does make sense. I get it, because obviously the whole thing of the Baron Corbin Kurt Angle feud last year, where Baron Corbin ended up taking Kurt Angle's general manager's job and all that, and generally humiliated him on promos and things like that for several months. So in that aspect, I understand it. Kurt Angle wants to get revenge on Baron Corbin and all that type of thing, but Kurt Angle's last match really in a WrestleMania against Baron Corbin, that just sounds so underwhelming, doesn't it? Really, I mean, I don't even hate Baron Corbin. I don't think he's as bad as people make out. I mean, yeah, I think the Constable Corbin thing was awful, and the role as Raw acting GM was terrible, and I think it coincided with WWE's creative being horrible, and I think Baron Corbin became a scapegoat for that. I think he's okay in the ring. I don't think he's terrible in the ring at all. I mean, put this way, I've seen a lot worse wrestlers get big pushes than Baron Corbin over the years. I mean, obviously, he can talk, he can cut a promo, you can't take that away from him. He does get good heat, so can't really deny that. But yeah, like I said, just the final point of Kurt Angle is just so underwhelming. And who knows? There's been rampant speculation that WWE will do a switchbait on the night of John Cena take out Baron Corbin and then take his place as Kurt Angle's opponent. But who knows? I have no idea about that. We'll see. I'm going to say probably not, though, because I think if they were going to do it, they would have had Cena replace Corbin in the build-up. Because it'd be kind of weird for John Cena to have an unadvertised match at WrestleMania on the night, out of nowhere type thing. So in the build-up this, we've seen Kurt Angle wrestle a few matches. And oh boy, I think the Samoa Joe match in particular showed me exactly why Kurt Angle's retiring. I mean, Kurt Angle, one of the absolute greatest wrestlers I've ever seen. I mean, I watched Angle right from the start when he debuted in late 1999, Survivor Series 1999, and the whole run in 2000, 2001, 2002, on his way to TNA and all that, becoming a legend. But I think it's fair to say Father Time's finally got him. I mean, Kurt Angle, I'm so glad he's retiring now while he's got some dignity left. I would hate to see Kurt Angle carry on anymore, because I think it's obvious he just can't do it anymore. I mean, I'm sure his heart and his mind wants to keep wrestling, but his body's just telling him to pack it in. It's time to pack it in, son, you know. I just feel like time's caught up with him, injuries. I mean, you got to think this guy who's essentially been dealing with neck injuries for over 20 years. I mean, he broke his neck the first time before the Olympics. And obviously now his pro wrestling career suffered multiple injuries, most notably his neck injuries in 2003, 2004. Then various other wear and tear over the years. And now he's 50 years old. I think it's all just caught up to him now. And you can see when his ring he really, really struggles. I mean, he can still do some moves well, but I feel like Ray has a hard time getting around bumping, getting off the mat and that sort of thing. And sometimes it looks like he really struggles to stand up straight. That looks like a chore for him. So, yeah, I mean, Father Time, the only undefeated guy, I mean, it gets everybody in the end. I mean, Kurt Angle fought it off for a long time, but finally caught up with him. And I really hope this is a permanent retirement as well. I mean, I've no desire to see Kurt Angle destroying his body anymore. I mean, he came back to the WWE, he came home, he got the Hall of Fame run, he got a return to the ring, had a great WrestleMania match last year, so time to just end your career on a high and then, I don't know, stay on with WWE in a trainer's role or whatever, maybe be a trainer down at the Performance Centre or something like that, be an occasional on-screen performer, who knows. So, yeah, I'm not really, this match, I just don't really see being that good. This is how I would book it anyway. I don't know if this will happen, but I think this match should just go 2 or 3 minutes. Because Because I feel like if this match went like 10 minutes or more, I think it would suck, to be honest with you. So I'm going to have Kurt Angle to go over, because I feel like Baron Corbin doesn't need to win. I don't think it would damage Baron Corbin all to lose to Kurt Angle. I think let Kurt Angle go out on a high as they have a 2 or 3 minute match. Kurt Angle gets his full revenge on Baron Corbin, gets in the ankle lock, taps Corbin out, and then calls it a career, you know. That's just my opinion anyway, whatever. I mean, I'll go with that. So Kurt Angle will go over. Now, a no holds barred match. If Triple H loses, he must retire from in-ring competition. Triple H versus Batista. So I guess this is like the attraction match of the night. I mean, I will say, to be fair though, this year WrestleMania is far less dominated by part-times than it has been the last several years. I mean, at press time, there's no Undertaker match this year, it doesn't look like. Although I will make a little supplemental prediction here. So I forgot to mention before that Elias is going to be doing his music performances at WrestleMania. So I guess to have a break from matches at certain points in the show, Elias will come in the ring, he'll get his guitar, he'll sing a derogatory song about the crowd, the town, and all that. So my opinion is that the Undertaker will show up and choke slam and tombstone Elias and lay him out, just to get a WrestleMania moment out there, you know. So that's my prediction. And it doesn't look, the press time doesn't look like John Cena's going to do anything this year at WrestleMania. Although I think he'll be on the show in some capacity. What capacity that is, I don't know yet. Then we've got no Rock, no Goldberg, guys like that. So this is really, obviously apart from Kurt Angle, this is really the only part-time match you're dominating this year's WrestleMania. Triple H and Batista, and for me, not that excited for this match, to be honest with you. Yeah, just not really feeling it. I mean, fine. I think it'll be a decent match of the night, but I just don't really care about this feud that much, to be honest with you. So Batista returned to WWE attacking Ric Flair on the Ric Flair's birthday bash, where that was actually quite an effective angle. Then some of the promos Triple H cut were great, talking about Richard Flair and stuff like that. So realistic promos, so you got to give a Triple H props. And how the hell is Triple H cleared for this match? I just think that's kind of amazing when you think about it. Triple H tore his pec, yeah. Triple H tore his goddamn pec back in November at Crown Jewel, and here he is, April, and now he's ready to go. Holy fuck, that was a fast recovery, wasn't it? Bloody hell. But yeah, so Batista's back, and the whole, I think when he was doing that, give me what I want, they were just basically just yelling at each other. I mean, it was supposed to come off as cool, but for me, it just kind of felt comical. I don't know if anyone else felt that way, but I just kind of felt like, oh, give me what I want, what I really, really want, was kind of comical. And that led to people on the internet doing a Spice Girls meme. So obviously the Spice Girls song, for you young kids who went around in 1996, want to be those songs. So I tell you what I want, what I really, really want. So tell me what I want, what I really, really want is Zigazay. So when Batista was going, give me what I want, people were adding Spice Girls, what I really, really want. So yeah, just awesome stuff on the internet. So the match was on Triple H, Batista, no holds barred. Then Batista cut a promo like running down Triple H on satellite by being a selfish bastard and all that. The only kind of thing I was thinking is, everything Batista was saying about Triple H's character was absolutely true. So kind of find it hard to get behind Triple H, the babyface in this feud. Yeah, Batista knocked down Ric Flair, and I suppose that makes him a heel. But some of the stuff Batista's saying about Triple H is the absolute truth. I mean, I've always found it hard to get behind Triple H, the babyface, because I've never really seen the Triple H character as a likeable character. Because yeah, he has used people, he has been manipulative, he has used dirty tactics to get ahead and all that. So yeah, that's the thing for me. So yeah, I just kind of feel like the babyface heel role should have been switched around. I just don't see Triple H the babyface, and I don't really want to hate Batista in this match. And then obviously the stipulation was Triple H loses, he retires. So that was kind of giveaway. And I don't know if they did this on purpose or not. Maybe it was on purpose, maybe it's just a coincidence. But last time WrestleMania was in MetLife Stadium, WrestleMania 29, Triple H's career was also on the line in that match as well against Brock Lesnar. So Like I say, no idea if this. It could be coincidence. It could not be. Who knows? But for me, the match should be good if, and this is a big if Triple H's ego doesn't run wild and demand a typical Triple H 25, 27, 30-minute match. I mean, that's the thing with Triple H. I think Triple H's ego has demanded all these long matches. I mean, a lot of Triple H matches have been overly long and would have been a hell of a lot better if it was shorter. So I really hope this match does not go long. I think that would be the worst thing in the world. If it goes 14, 15 minutes, I think it could be an entertaining spectacle. But let me point you back to Super Showdown, the match Triple H had with The Undertaker. For some stupid reason, that match went nearly 30 minutes. And as a result, this should not have gone that long. WrestleMania 32, I honestly feel like main event of Triple H Roman Reigns would have been far better if it was like 10 minutes shorter. So Triple H has a history of demanding a lot of time just because I think it's more because he can rather than because he should, if that makes sense. So I think in this case, should definitely be a shorter match. And if it is, I feel like it could be an entertaining brawl. Also, I don't know how good a wrestler Batista is in 2019 because he hasn't wrestled in 5 years. And obviously when he came back in 2014, he didn't wrestle a ton then either. So essentially he hasn't wrestled full time in almost a decade. And of course Triple H is strictly a part-timer now. But in fairness, he usually brings it. So obviously no holds barred, that stipulation will help because he can use weapons and stuff like that to cover up things. But Dixie's got to be, well, Triple H is going over, isn't he? I mean, I think this is probably a one and done for Batista. Because I think Batista always wanted to end his career facing Triple H. So I think this probably will be the last match of Batista's career. So Triple H can go over there. And Triple H, he hasn't won a WrestleMania match in 4 years. Last WrestleMania match he won was against Sting at WrestleMania 31. So in the meantime, he lost to Roman Reigns, he lost to Seth Rollins. Him and Stephanie lost to Kurt Angle and Ronda Rousey last year. And it's not like Batista's a young up-and-coming guy that'll be damaged by losing to Triple H after his momentum stopped. And they're the same age, they're both part-time guys, so Triple H going over Batista won't damage anybody in the process. So let's go for Triple H to go over. Now the 3 big title matches on the show. I mean, these are for me the top 3 matches this year's WrestleMania. We're going to go with the Universal title now with Brock Lesnar versus Seth Rollins. And yeah, build-up's been rather lackluster to this one, hasn't it? I mean, yeah, I just don't feel excited for this match at all. Just feel like real lack of stories really hurt this match. Seth Rollins won the 2019 Royal Rumble, and then because then you had the Brock Lesnar thing. Lesnar beat him up the night after Royal Rumble, and I thought they had like 10 weeks to WrestleMania, and they had 2 pay-per-views in the meantime to build up to. Because I feel like that hurt the WrestleMania build up having 2 pay-per-views before. So this feud had kind of put in the back burner for a while. I mean, we had a couple of segments between Seth Rollins cutting a promo and then Paul Heyman and Seth Rollins. I think Brock Lesnar's only been on Raw 2 or 3 times since the Royal Rumble. So yeah, that's obviously I'm not going to get into Brock Lesnar's status as a part-time champion. Don't really need to bang on about that here. So yeah, there's just a general lack of build for this one. No real story between the two. We've basically gone for Seth Rollins wants to beat Brock Lesnar. People say that Seth Rollins has no chance of beating Brock Lesnar. So yeah, not really a compelling storyline. At least last year, as much as people didn't really want to see Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar, at least he had a good story heading into that match. Whereas this year, they really don't. Although I will say the segment the other night on Raw was actually really good. But obviously Seth Rollins laying out Brock Lesnar. That was a really effective segment and definitely helped the hype somewhat. But yeah. Oh, sorry, hang on. But yeah, people. And if I just think the match will be fine. I mean, the match will be as good as Brock Lesnar wants it to be. Put it that way. If Brock Lesnar wants to work hard and have a really good match, he will. If Brock Lesnar can't be arsed and just wants to have a sloppy suplex F5 spam fest. That's what he'll do. So, yeah, basically this match will be as good as Brock Lesnar wants it to be. If Brock Lesnar wants to have an exciting match, we'll have an exciting match. If Brock Lesnar can't be arsed and just wants to half-arse it, that's what will happen. So hopefully it'll be the former. Hopefully they will have a good match. I really hope so. But I can definitely see this match not going that long. I mean, the match Brock Lesnar had with Finn Balor at Royal Rumble was an exciting sprint, but that was only 8 minutes. So if it was like that, I think I'd be fine with that. I mean, I could, if they had the similar match to the match that Brock Lesnar had with Finn Balor at the Royal Rumble, I think I could take that. Hopefully Seth Rollins gets a big chance to shine this match. I mean, we'll see some great spots. Hopefully, prediction. I don't really want to say this, but this is my honest opinion. I'm going to go with Brock Lesnar to retain the Universal title. Now, let me just make this clear. I don't want that to happen. I want Seth Rollins to go over and win the Universal title. But, because obviously, I'll give away a couple of spoilers now. Because I feel like all three babyfaces won't win the top 3 matches at WrestleMania. And out of the 3, Becky, Kofi, and Rollins, I think Seth Rollins is definitely the most likely not to win. Yeah, just can't see babyface going over in all 3 matches. And to be fair, if I had the power to pick and choose, but I could only pick 2 out of the 3 to go over, I'd probably go with Becky Lynch and Kofi Kingston. So who knows? Hopefully I'll be surprised and all 3 go over and Seth Rollins gets his Universal title win. But you know, WWE, Vince in particular, has a hard on for Brock Lesnar. I mean, Brock Lesnar should have fucked off last year after WrestleMania. He should have lost to Roman Reigns last year at WrestleMania, to be fair. And just fucked off for a year and just fuck off back to UFC. Not interested in Brock Lesnar anymore. And I think a lot of people feel the same way about Brock Lesnar. But unfortunately, the one man who loves Brock Lesnar and wants to keep him around is the one guy whose opinion matters the most, and that's Vince McMahon. So you know what's going to happen? Brock Lesnar's going to go over. Vince is going to give him a new contract and all that, and God knows how long Lesnar will be the champion. Although I do feel like ultimately they're going to want to put the belt back on Roman Reigns. So unfortunately, I think Seth Rollins might have to be sacrificed, which is a shame, but it's what it is. So I'm going to go Brock Lesnar to go over. Now, for me, the best story heading into WrestleMania 35 is this one right here. Daniel Bryan versus Kofi Kingston for the WWE Championship. Yes, the main event feels like a bigger match, I'll give you that. And the main event absolutely deserves to be the main event. But for me, the best storyline going to WrestleMania is right here, this one. And it's just so great that it's a storyline that was never really supposed to happen. I mean, this is a great example of WWE just stumbling onto something and actually, instead of stubbornly refusing to go for it, they ran with it. Because this is the type of thing I could easily see when it started their form at WWE for try and just stop it and go through whatever plan they had. So, but let's start with Daniel Bryan. I mean, Daniel Bryan, whew. So this is a culmination of a big year. Daniel Bryan returned to the ring at WrestleMania last year after 3 years out of the ring. And now look at where he is now. The top heel in the company, arguably. The WWE champion. Doing, I would say, if not the best, one of the best character works of his entire career. Daniel Bryan's well and truly back. I mean, Daniel Bryan is once again one of the best wrestlers in the world. And it's been a really awesome ride to see. I mean, he came back as a babyface. I think his initial comeback run was good, but it didn't set the world on fire. I mean, granted, that was some of his opponents. And then, like, Big Cass and then feuding with the Bludgeon Brothers. But I think that the Miz feud was good, but not, like, blow away fantastic or anything. And then finally he turned heel in October or November or whatever it was. Screwed AJ Styles out of the WWE title to win the title back. And then, my God, this environmentalistic character has just been fucking awesome. I mean, it's one of those ones that, you know, Daniel Bryan's having an absolute blast of this. And I've always felt like when the performer's having a blast doing something, that always resonates with the fans. I mean, really, really has. I mean, good God, this feud's been... Daniel Bryan character's been on fire the whole... just some of the stuff he's come out with is just brilliant. I mean, I could go on about it for a long time, but I think there's a lot to talk about, so I won't. I'm already over an hour, so I don't want to go too long here. But yeah, there's some of the promos he's been cutting on the fans about all the saving the environment and all that shit has been fantastic. And then he got Eric Rowan as his big man, so he's heavy, which is just old school 101 booking. You've got a smaller heel hiding behind the big guy, cleans up and does the dirty work, so that's just been really good. And then eventually got rid of the leather WWE Championship belt, because of course leather comes from cows, and Daniel Bryan, being a vegan, does not like the slaughtering of animals for food or clothes, so he brought us this wooden and hemp WWE Championship belt. I mean, it looks ridiculous, but that's kind of the point. It's supposed to look ridiculous. You're supposed to think, what the fuck's up with this belt? So I think as long as this remains Daniel Bryan's WWE title custom belt, and as long as whoever's the champion next goes back to having the traditional belt, it'll be fine. Because I think that was one of the issues of John Cena's spinner belt. If that was just John Cena's own custom belt all that time, it would have been fine. But when people like Triple H and CM Punk and Edge and Randy Orton were holding that spinner belt, it looks stupid. But oh god, yeah. And the thing is, what was interesting, coming into late 2018, 2019, nobody seemed to know what the hell they were going to do for a WWE title program for Daniel Bryan, because let's face it, SmackDown were really lacking baby faces. I mean, AJ Styles had been the top babyface for a long time. Him and Bryan had a long feud, and I think that was out the question for AJ Styles to stay in the title picture. Then you had people looking, maybe Jeff Hardy, but I don't think Jeff Hardy's reliability issues would be a thing. People were thinking Rey Mysterio, maybe, but then they were thinking maybe someone like Samoa Joe could turn babyface or whatever. And then they were looking to part-timers, so I think one of the bigger speculations was John Cena coming back to feud with Daniel Bryan. And then it happened. WWE couldn't find it. I think Kevin Owens was rumoured for WrestleMania. But then it happened. WWE found the babyface, and it's just amazing how one little thing can change everything. So it was going to be the Elimination Chamber. Mustafa Ali was going to be in that Elimination Chamber. But then Mustafa Ali got injured and had to miss the Elimination Chamber. So WWE needed someone to put in that Elimination Chamber. They looked at the roster, looked at the New Day's over babyface, and goes, alright, Kofi Kingston, we'll put you in the Elimination Chamber, see how it gets on. And obviously that SmackDown before the Elimination Chamber, a big gauntlet match was scheduled, so all the Elimination Chamber participants in the gauntlet, basically. So here we are, Kofi Kingston was in that gauntlet. He pins Daniel Bryan clean. I mean, he goes, who else did he go through? I mean, he went through Randy Orton, he went through Samoa Joe. I think it was a very similar situation as Seth Rollins in the gauntlet on Raw last year. And then, yeah, I mean, just one of those things where, and he got through AJ Styles, and then Randy Orton beat him in the end. No, AJ beat Kofi Kingston, excuse me. Sorry about that. I think Kofi lasted 40 minutes in this chamber match, gauntlet match, but fans were really getting behind Kofi Kingston, because I think it was just a desire to see someone new push to the top, and someone who'd been around a long time deserves to go. Here we are, Kofi Kingston, been in WWE for 11 years, debuted on WWE ECW back in 2008. I mean, by all accounts, really should have got the big push several years ago. I mean, it looked like he was going that direction in 2009. I mean, if you remember, he did the whole feud of Randy Orton. It looked like Kofi Kingston could have been a world champion in 2010, but for various reasons, his push fizzled out. Mainly due to that stupid incident with Randy Orton, kind of derailed Kofi's push. And after that, it just never really clicked for Kofi Kingston again. I mean, Kofi Kingston was kind of like the Intercontinental Champion, the United States Champion guy, but he was never going to rise beyond that. And then obviously the New Day happened. We don't need to go too much detail on that. New Day has been one of the hottest acts in WWE for the last 3 or 4 years now. He just took his opportunity, and the fans just got really, really behind him. And then the Elimination Chamber, him and Bryan, he got to the final two, him and Daniel Bryan. I mean, Kingston and Bryan had a truly electrifying performance at Elimination Chamber. And again, the fans were really, really, really into Kofi Kingston, so it was like, could this be the match of WrestleMania? I mean, I've got to give them really a ton of credit. I mean, I always expect them to just say, yeah, we don't really want Kofi Kingston, so we'll just push him aside. But then WWE actually went with it. So it makes you think, what the hell was going to happen here if Kofi and Mustafa Ali hadn't got injured? Would they have went with Mustafa Ali in this spot? I don't know. It's just kind of crazy to think about how one little thing changes everything. So then it looked like it was going to be Daniel Bryan versus Kofi Kingston at Fastlane, but then last minute Vince McMahon changes the match, takes Kofi Kingston out of the match and brings in Kevin Owens as replacement. It's so funny how many people got triggered by that. Because I had a good laugh there. I had a good laugh laughing at people getting so upset over that. I mean, because I feel like some people in the IWC just overreact to every little thing. Don't let a storyline play out. So I think at that point when Kofi was taking out the Fastlane match, it was obvious at that point it was going to be Kofi Kingston, Daniel Bryan for WrestleMania. Then they did the big tease of Fastlane on the night where it looked like Kofi demanded to be in the match. And Vince said, yeah, it's going to be a triple threat match. Go out, you're on next. But Vince was actually trolling Kofi Kingston. Yeah, he wasn't sending Kofi Kingston out to have a triple threat match. He was sending him out to have a handicap match against the Bar, which he won. So yeah, that pissed a lot of people off. And I just did master trolling, but Mustafa Ali was actually inserted into the match with Kevin Owens and Daniel Bryan. And yeah, I think Vince McMahon's been awesome in this storyline as well. I mean, for all the shit Vince McMahon gets for being out of touch and all that, and being creatively awful and things like that, I think it's all absolutely true. But to be honest, Vince McMahon is still an awesome not an in-ring performer, on-screen performer. I mean, I think he's proved that. I mean, he's been fantastic in the storyline. Just seemingly trying everything to stop Kofi Kingston winning the title, trolling the fans at the right time as well, getting them all riled up, and ultimately the goal of getting them behind Kofi Kingston and hating Daniel Bryan. So it's led to a big Kofi has had to run the gauntlet again. He beat, let's see, who was it? Both members of the Bar, Eric Rowan, Samoa Joe, Randy Orton. So Kofi Kingston does it. He beats all these guys, and Vince McMahon comes out. No, not yet. Get your Wrestlemania title shot. You have to go through one more guy. Brings out Daniel Bryan, and Daniel Bryan beats Kofi Kingston, and it's like, whatever we do, he's not going to get the title shot. So New Day were talking about quitting and all that. Then Vince give Kofi one last opportunity. The New Day members Big E and Xavier Woods had to win a tag team gauntlet to get Kofi his title shot, which he did. So this match was only finalised 2 SmackDowns ago, so just over a week ago. Just think about that. But for the last 4 or 5 weeks, we've known this is where they were going for WrestleMania. And yeah, so Kofi's gone through every obstacle he's had to go through. Fans are behind him. Fans are ready for this match. And I just love the irony, like 5 years ago, Daniel Bryan was the guy that all the fans wanted to see win. I mean, the fans loved him. And now, 2019, Daniel Bryan's a guy everyone wants to see get beat. I mean, I love how this all turned around. It Daniel Bryan and Vince has been calling Kofi Kingston a B-plus player. Daniel Bryan's been hiding behind the authority. Daniel Bryan's been using dirty tactics to keep his title. Essentially, Daniel Bryan's become everything they used to hate. Daniel Bryan is doing everything to Kofi Kingston that was done to him all those years ago. So I just think it's marvellous storytelling, to be honest with you. And for me, I feel like this should be the match of the night. Honestly do think, and I feel like this could be an amazing match. I mean, Kofi Kingston, I think fans just really want to see this match. Daniel Bryan, his first big WrestleMania back as a heel champion. Obviously, the match was him and Shane against Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn last year. It was a good match. It was what it was, but I don't think it was really that memorable. So I can't wait to see this match. This should be one of the best matches of the entire WrestleMania weekend. Expecting to really, hopefully, as long as the crowd aren't exhausted from other matches, that's going to be the key. This could be a super hot crowd as well. So we'll see. So I'm expecting a fantastic match out of these two as far as prediction. Got to be Kofi, hasn't it? Kofi's got to go over in this match. I mean, this whole storyline surely has been built of that moment of Kofi Kingston, after 11 years on the main roster, finally getting his due after losing these pushes and things like that and being pushed aside and seeing other guys get the push instead of him. Finally overcoming all of that to become the WWE champion. And as a matter of fact, with this victory, if it happens, Kofi Kingston will be the first fully African American WWE champion. Now, they're The Rock, yes, but The Rock's half black and half Samoan, and I feel like The Rock's Samoan heritage has often been more talked about than his black heritage. And then we have had two black world heavyweight champions in Mark Henry and Booker T. But I'm talking about the big belt, the main title, the WWE title. Kofi Kingston will be the first, so that'll be a really sweet moment if that happens. And obviously, I think Daniel Bryan would be perfectly fine putting Kofi Kingston over. I mean, Daniel Bryan puts people over when he needs to. I think he definitely needs to here. Even if Kofi Kingston's not a long-term champion, I think he just needs this big moment after all the build-up. And yeah, just hope. I think it'll be an exciting moment as well. So yeah, now we're at the main event for the Raw and the SmackDown Women's Championships. Winner take all. Ronda Rousey, Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch. And holy fuck, guys, what a time to be alive. Here we are, women the main event in WrestleMania. Just incredible achievement. Congratulations to all the women's division, all that sort of thing. And here we are. This is the main event of WrestleMania. And admittedly, build up for this hasn't always been the best. I mean, I think it's had its good and its bad points. I mean, had a really good start, kind of drifted off in the middle. But the last 2 weeks has definitely pushed it back up. So yeah, really, again, just think about this. The last time WrestleMania was in MetLife Stadium, 6 years ago, WrestleMania 29, the Divas match was cancelled on the night. It was supposed to be Brodus Clay, Lord Tensai, and the Funkadactyls against Cody Rhodes, Damien Sandow, and the Bella Twins. That match was cancelled at Gorilla. And here we are. And then let's go back 10 years ago, WrestleMania 25. There was a Divas Battle Royal. The women didn't even get an entrance. They all came out after Kid Rock's concert. And there was a Battle Royal, which was won by Santino Marella in drag. So to go to that, to where they are now, is just a phenomenal achievement. And just the hard work of the girls. And WWE pushing the women's division seriously. Just great stuff. I mean, really excited for this match. Now it's all on the line. The Raw Women's title and the SmackDown Women's title. So I guess you can trace this back to Ronda Rousey coming to WWE last year, making a debut match at WrestleMania 34. And I think that changed the game as far as women were concerned, because now they had a genuine mainstream star on the roster in Ronda Rousey. Not that the people like Charlotte and that weren't big stars, but as far as the casual mainstream audience, Ronda Rousey is something special. One of the biggest stars in the history of the UFC. And there was a lot of hype around her becoming a professional wrestler in the WWE. Because I think at that point people were talking about Ronda Rousey versus Charlotte Flair for WrestleMania 35. And I think even back to like 10, 11 months ago, people were talking about this possibly the main event in WrestleMania. And that's the thing, guys. Anyone who shits on Ronda Rousey, fair, if that's your opinion, fair enough, I accept that. But just think about this, without Ronda Rousey, the women don't main event this year's WrestleMania. They really don't. So out of the three, I think Ronda Rousey is the one that absolutely had to be in this match. Because I feel like Ronda Rousey versus Becky Lynch, Ronda Rousey versus Charlotte, it works. Either way it works. But if you take Ronda out and you do Charlotte Flair versus Becky Lynch, that's not really the WrestleMania main event, is it? So, and obviously that looked like the direction they were definitely going in. I think it was well accepted several months ago that it was going to be Ronda Rousey versus Charlotte Flair for WrestleMania. I feel that's why Charlotte broke Asuka's streak at WrestleMania last year. So obviously Charlotte was on SmackDown, Ronda was on Raw. They want to keep them held back until WrestleMania this year, so fans are going to be excited for it. And then along the way, something happened. Becky Lynch got over. I mean, think about this for Becky Lynch's story, right? So this time last year, WrestleMania 34, Becky Lynch was in the Women's Battle Royal on the pre-show, and she didn't even win that match. Naomi did. So Becky Lynch is the first person ever to go from pre-show to WrestleMania main event inside 1 year. So that's a hell of an achievement. I mean, a couple of guys have gone from opening a match on the main card to main event, but nobody's actually gone from WrestleMania pre-show to WrestleMania main event. So it all changed over the summer with Becky Lynch, just the fans really getting behind Becky Lynch. And then WWE making the horrible mistake of trying to turn Becky Lynch heel on Charlotte Flair. I mean, that was one of those ones where it was like another example of WWE just not listening to the fans. WWE wanting to do their own thing regardless of reactions. I mean, it went down like a wet fart in church, really, didn't it? I mean, Becky Lynch was beating Charlotte Flair up. Fans were supposed to boo the shit out of Becky, but the opposite happened. Fans just loved watching Becky Lynch beat up Charlotte Flair. And WWE, obviously, they went in a direction where they tried to have Becky be the heel and Charlotte be the babyface. And to give Becky Lynch a credit, she really tried. I mean, she really did try to make it work. But it's pretty obvious that this just was not going to fly. It wasn't going to happen. And I'll give WWE credit, actually. I mean, once she realised it was apparent that this was not going to work, the fans weren't going to boo Becky Lynch and they weren't going to love Charlotte Flair, they kind of just ran with it after that and just let Becky Lynch be the babyface and let Charlotte be the heel. Because that's WWE's been quite stubborn over things like that over the years. So I'm just glad that they finally went with it. And then obviously the big announcement was going to be Ronda Rousey versus Becky Lynch for Survivor Series that year. Fans were so hyped to see that match, and who knows what would happen if that match went off. Would fans have had the filler Becky Lynch, or would they been satisfied because they got Becky versus Ronda, and then just being happy to see Ronda versus Charlotte at WrestleMania this year? And then again, like talking about the WWE title match, one little thing changed everything. So Raw before Survivor Series was a big brawl between Raw and SmackDown. Then Nia Jax punches Becky Lynch in the face, smashes her orbital bone and gives her a concussion. Then all of a sudden Becky Lynch is out of the match with Ronda Rousey in Survivor Series, and as a result of all this bad stuff happening to her, that just made Becky Lynch even more popular than she already was. So Becky Lynch was now the underdog, the woman that broke through and then got it all snatched away from it due to an injury. Then as a result of that, Charlotte Flair had to face Ronda Rousey Survivor Series, so WWE had to do the WrestleMania plan early and do the first Ronda versus Charlotte singles match at Survivor Series and not WrestleMania. So could they really run? So now they think, can they really run Charlotte versus Ronda again at WrestleMania? Now it's no longer a big first time match. It's not a fresh match anymore. So the hope was at this point that they were going to go with Becky Lynch in the WrestleMania main event against Ronda Rousey. But then you think, as build-up goes, they're probably not going to want to take Charlotte Flair out of this match, so it's probably going to be a triple threat match. So ultimately, yes, I did want Ronda Rousey versus Becky Lynch one-on-one. But I did not really want Charlotte in this match. I don't think she needed to be in this match. But it's not a big deal that she's in there. I mean, I've got absolutely no problem with her being there now. I think first choice would have been Ronda Rousey versus Becky Lynch one-on-one. That's all. Obviously, it looks like they were taking shit of Becky Lynch win the 2019 Royal Rumble. Looked like that awesome promo the night after Royal Rumble, Becky Lynch and Ronda Rousey. Fans were really booing the shit out of Ronda Rousey, and it's another thing. WWE, the negative reaction Ronda Rousey was getting when she's feuding with Becky Lynch, WWE turned that around on the fans. And so obviously in the build, I think Becky Lynch had pissed off the McMahons. She's gotten suspended, then unsuspended. Because obviously Becky Lynch, they had a sad storyline knee injury at the Royal Rumble. The McMahons were saying that she couldn't wrestle until she was medically cleared. And then, the only real problem I had in this segment was then Vince making Humble and Becky Lynch and maybe it was Stephanie humbling Becky Lynch and making her apologise. I mean, did not like that at all because of her character and all that. I mean, back in the day you would never see Stone Cold apologise, would you? Type thing, if that makes sense. Yeah, I didn't like that. I was really disappointed with that aspect of it. And then Vince McMahon, the big reveal, he suspended Becky Lynch for 60 days, taking her out of the WrestleMania main event. And he was replacing with Charlotte Flair, and holy fuck the heat she got for that. I mean, it's another fan's point where I had such a laugh watching the fans on the internet just getting triggered and getting angry and all that. It's like, guys, it's a storyline. Don't worry, Becky's getting back in this match. Don't worry about it. You're pissed off at Charlotte in there, and good. You're supposed to be. And then ultimately that's what happened. Charlotte I mean, Becky did get back at the match, and then we got a triple threat. But then along the way, WWE turned Ronda Rousey heel. I mean, for the most part, Rousey had come in. It had been quite well received as the babyface. But when she was up against Becky Lynch, fans hated her and cheered for Becky Lynch. And WWE took the cross and, all right, you wanna boo Ronda Rousey and cheer Becky Lynch? Fine, we'll let you do that. So they turned Ronda Rousey heel, and I've got to say Rousey's work as a heel has been fantastic. I mean, you could tell she had that inside of her the whole time. I mean, this side of Ronda Rousey was held back to try and have a nice girl image. Now we're getting the aggressive, badass Ronda Rousey. And no woman in wrestling has the intensity Ronda Rousey has, obviously. Being a UFC star and all that, she's got the legitimacy behind it. Great stuff. I mean, some of the Rousey's heel work, because I think some of the babyface promos quite terrible, to be honest with you. But now she's a heel. But when she turned her back on the fans, she called the fans out for being arseholes and hypocrites. And it was like, fuck this, if you want to boo me, then fine, fucking boo me. Then it went through a period where the build-up was kind of losing a little bit of ground. And then the stakes were raised the other week on SmackDown, where Charlotte Flair beat Asuka to become the SmackDown Women's Championship, to become the champion, not the championship. Duh, that doesn't even make sense, Craig. Charlotte once again the SmackDown Women's title, women winning the SmackDown Women's title. That pissed a lot of people off, and yeah, I understand that. I mean, yeah, it does suck for Asuka, granted, and yeah, it does take a shit on the whole SmackDown Women's division. But unfortunately, that's just the way it is. I feel like, the thing is, right, anyone complaining, really, think about this. Did you really want to see Asuka versus Mandy Rose at WrestleMania for the SmackDown Women's title championship? I mean, if you say yes, really, I don't really believe that. So, unfortunately, Asuka did have to get sacrificed for the greater good. And it does suck for Asuka, yeah, I admit that. It wasn't ideal. But it gets extra heat on Charlotte Flair. So now you've got two heel champions in Charlotte and Ronda, and one babyface of Becky Lynch. It just gives Becky Lynch that much more to achieve and that much more to overcome. So hopefully Asuka may be rebuilt in the future. I hope so anyway. So obviously with that in mind now, Stephanie McMahon the other night on Raw made this match both for the Raw and the SmackDown Women's Championship winner take all, which basically means that whoever wins gets both titles. Now I will say Stephanie was careful not to say anything about unifying the titles, so at this moment in time I don't think the titles are going to be unified as a result of this. I just think the winner's going to have both belts, and the whole having put two titles, that'll be sorted out later on. Like, they'll probably have to drop one of them. So the stakes are definitely raised by this, and it makes it a lot more interesting. And then the segment the other night on Raw, where I like this segment. I mean, I've seen a lot of people shitting it, thought it was cheesy and stupid. And yeah, granted, some of it was unrealistic and stupid. But you can't tell me that wasn't an exciting segment that really gripped the fans. I mean, come on. I mean, is this really less ridiculous than some of the stuff happening in the Attitude Era, like Austin driving through on Zambonis and beer trucks and things like that? And so it's not really that. It had a really good chaotic vibe to it. Now, the only thing I thought was really silly was when Ronda Rousey was handcuffed and started controlling the car with, because they started trying to drive the car with just pushing the pedals. That's just kind of silly. And yeah, you look at the cops did look quite incompetent, just completely failing to control the victims and stuff. But yeah, it was an exciting segment. It really was. I mean, I enjoyed the hell out of it, and I think it was a great segment there in the build for this WrestleMania match. So now let's get to the match. Now, my biggest concern about this match is with the whole 7-hour show, are the fans going to be asleep by the time this main event comes around? Because I really hope that WWE doesn't kill the fans in the all this show. And the fans are there and they're ready and they're cheering on Becky Lynch. Because I get the feeling if it's a quiet crowd, you get a lot of the haters saying, "Oh well, look, the women don't draw, the women aren't exciting." So I just hope a poor crowd doesn't hurt this match. I really hope the crowd's into it, because I think that's been a common theme for WrestleManias in recent years. The later the show goes, the more the crowd dies. So I hope that's not the case here. Now, this match should be fantastic. I mean, I think again this match should be awesome. I feel like the Brian Kofi would be the best match of the night, but this match shouldn't be too far behind. Hope they tell a great story out there. All three women doing everything they can do to have a great match. So yeah, I'm thinking obviously this is a historic match, the first ever women's main event of a WrestleMania. They're going to do everything they can to make it special. As far as prediction, it's got to be Becky Lynch, hasn't it, to go over. I mean, I think this whole build-up has all been leading to Becky Lynch getting a big moment at WrestleMania, overcoming Ronda Rousey and Charlotte Flair. Out the three, I would say Charlotte's the most unlikely winner. I just can't see Charlotte winning this one. I mean, I'd be very surprised if she did. I think Ronda Rousey, maybe. I would not be that surprised if Ronda Rousey went over. But I think Becky Lynch is probably the favourite. And I hope, although this won't be a big deal if it doesn't happen, but I just feel like this will be icing on the cake and it'll be perfect type thing. If Becky Lynch taps out Ronda Rousey to win the win the women's titles. So yeah, I think if she beats Charlotte, that'd be fine. I mean, I wouldn't have a big problem with that. But I think obviously if she if she's the one to beat Ronda Rousey for the first time, that would be a much, much bigger deal, wouldn't it? It'd be a great way to end WrestleMania, and that's a wrap, guys. So, a long-ass video. So thanks, guys, for watching. There's a little channel update. So, Saturday morning, I'll be doing NXT TakeOver New York, reviewing the slide form. Not sure when I'll be, cause I will review the Ring of Honor New Japan G1 Supercard, but I might hang on for a couple of days afterwards because I'm at work on the Sunday and I might not have time because I'm going to try and watch it live, but I do have to work on the Sunday afterwards. So, and obviously I'll be trying to catch up on sleep as much as I can, so I won't be too tired for WrestleMania. So G1 Supercard that might be reviewed on Sunday, but I might wait till like the following week to do it. Then of course WrestleMania Monday morning slide review. And then after that, I've got a little project in mind anyway, which I'll tell you near at the time. So, and that's a wrap, guys. Thanks for watching, and until next time, peace.